Hello, testing, testing. Hopefully the audio should be okay. But to anyone who happens to stop by, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Just going to talk a little bit about some anime right now because I was finishing some art from earlier today. Almost done with it, especially since I just want to try to get it done by tomorrow so I can record a stream tomorrow as well. But yeah, if you happen to be stopping by, thank you. Feel free to leave a comment in the chat if there's anything in particular you want me to mention or talk about. Let's see, just going to briefly talk about something like that anime going on because there's some new episodes today, as per usual. There's Sabikui Bisco. Let's see, let me try to open some tabs just first. Princess Connect Redive Season 2. I actually saw some clips of this over on... Actually, let me check to make sure the audio is okay. Give me 1 second. Just want to check how the feed is going to make sure it's okay. Let me open here. Okay, there we go. Okay, the audio seems to be okay, I think. And there we go. Okay, good. So the audio should be okay. And let me check here. Alright, just trying to make sure that everything's okay. But we should be fine. I did mention Sabikui Bisco. I noticed on episode 4 with Red Crab. And then, of course, as I mentioned with episode 4 of Princess Connect Season 2, been hearing some really good things about it, and I actually saw a bit of it earlier today. I'm going to try to rewatch it, because I know that there's also some really good clips that were shared over on Twitter, so I definitely want to check on that out later. Then there's also Fantasia Sango Realm of Legends, which so overall, I say it kind of reminds me of King's Raid, which I loved King's Raid. I think aired last year, if I recall correctly. It's a really good anime. It even has like its own like gacha game right now, or I guess just a mobile game. And I'm still playing it. I'm really enjoying the mobile game. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. I still need to catch up on Tribe 9 though. I really want to catch up on Tribe 9. Then also we have like some of the anime that are coming up. There's Life is Ordinary Who Incarnated as a Total Fantasy Knockouts. I don't think I brought this one up yet, so let me see. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me close these. And then I'm not sure if I talked about People of the Wise Men yet, but so let's see if I can talk about that. Here we go with Total Fantasy Knockout. A dull old man and his husband, handsome. Oh my gosh, why am I stuttering so much? Why am I stuttering so much? Handsome best friend were summoned to another world by a naked goddess. That sounds a little sus. Just saying. But anyway, you know how these isekai kind of go. However, because of the goddess's mischief, he has turned into a peerless, beautiful girl. To get back his body, he has to go on a journey with his best friend to defeat the Demon King, an old man that became a beautiful girl, and a handsome old man. Let the madness-filled rom-com journey in another world begin. Also, this is a rom-com. This is a romantic comedy. That could be kind of fun. And I like the art. I really like the design, especially like the maid here. So I'm definitely I'm absolutely gonna check this out. I haven't watched this yet. I'm absolutely gonna check this out for sure. These designs look really good, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, especially if it's an isekai. Okay, now back to here. I mentioned this a little bit, but here we have she professed herself a People of the Wise Men. So this is another isekai. Sakimori Kagami plays a game called Arc Earth Online. Wait, let me check this. Okay, there we go. He's a veteran player with the name and appearance similar to an elderly bearded wizard, maybe I'm guessing it's this guy maybe, from a certain book about a ring. One day he purchases an appearance-changing item as a last resort to spend expiring currency and gets the idea of choosing what he would want to look like if his character were ever a girl. Falling asleep should have suspended the game, but Kagami wakes up still online and feels the game has gone a bit more realistic. Did Arc Earth Online finally get a long-awaited update? Whoa, don't you just hate it when you're just waiting for those updates? But I'm guessing this might be the MC maybe, and these are kind of like his supporting characters. I like the design too. This one looks pretty cute. And then we have like your typical support. So I mean, I guess right off the top of the head, it easily reminds us an isekai. Kind of reminds of SEO, which is fine. I'm not gonna like bash it too much over that. But I mean, still, if it's SEO, you kind of know what you're getting into. If it is in fact what do you call it, isekai, which for me is fine. I really enjoyed, I mentioned it before, I really enjoyed GGO Alternative. And then because that one was kind of more of a side, what do you call it, side series, um, a spin-off. Sorry, it's more like a spin-off series. And then you also had Alicization, which was kind of the more last seasons of the most recent SAO anime, which is really good. I absolutely recommend it. Quinella, definitely one of my favorite characters in SAO. She's great. And overall, that season, or those seasons, I guess, of the anime were just phenomenal. I loved it and would absolutely recommend it. I would absolutely recommend you watch GGO Alternative Online and then Alicization. Those were both fantastic. Absolutely recommend them. So I'm trying to load up the news. Hopefully, it'll load up just a bit. And I actually want to talk a little bit about the news because there was some news today. There was some news. Kind of the main thing is a bit of a follow-up on the whole Joe Rogan thing, which is pretty funny. I mean, it's one thing that Joe Rogan is your typical chud right-winger who will make his dumb takes, and then whenever like he gets called on it, especially like on his podcast, which is rarely, like I still rarely called out. Ultimately, he'll just bring on people just to reinforce his current beliefs. But the few times he does get called out, he'll just like try to move the goalpost. It's your typical thing you see from like chuds like him. But I think it's hilarious because I guess in response with the whole New Young thing, best wishes to him standing up for what he believes in. Because like the misinformation that Rogan kind of spreads on his podcast, like Spotify eventually like they did like some kind of new policy announcement thing, and then Joe Rogan ended up doing like a video, just like a half-ass apology, trying to like to pretend that he's as if he's gonna do anything significantly different. It is hilarious though the fact that he's like trying to show himself as like making an apology. Because I mean, ultimately, if you want to like be full on right winger, just be like Trump. Just be like Trump and say, no, actually, what I'm doing is trash, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Which is as I said, you can typically expect them from Trump. Like say what you want about his policies, which are, in my opinion, pretty trash for the most part. But at the end of the day, it's what he believes in, so it's stuck with him. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan, like I said, he'll just try to move the goalposts and say he's trying to do like just asking questions, that kind of stuff. But yeah, so props to, I guess you could say props to Spotify for doing like literally the bare minimum. Obviously, they should do more to curb the misinformation on their platform and such. But I think it's hilarious that like it's kind of like blown up on Rogan's face for the most part lately. It's been pretty funny to watch with that whole attempt at apology video, anyways. Also, big shout out to Patriot Takes. They're on Twitter. They kind of cover like the typical chuds and right wingers that you'll see online and on TV and such. And they did like a really cool compilation of basically like all the times like Rogan has just been flat out either a bigot or just using racist terms like saying the N-word and such. So yeah, it's even more so hilarious that you'll see like right wingers in the comments like desperately trying to simp for him. Like, dude, if you're gonna simp for anyone, like simp for someone like more important or someone more entertaining, you're just at that point if you're gonna like try to defend Rogan, you're just simping for like the dude whose entire aesthetic is just the dude weed bro thing. Like that's literally all it is. But yeah, it is pretty hilarious that him trying to like backtrack on that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes from there. Like I said, Spotify should definitely do more to curb the whole misinformation thing going on their platform, especially because we have a pandemic, still going on, and people are still getting sick and dying and such. But yeah, so I think overall, I thought this was a pretty funny story to talk about, and I did mention it earlier, but like the whole bit of where I mentioned it yesterday, like that entire thing of like Ben Shapiro like getting like schooled by a bunch of like little children. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny to actually see. Oh yeah, I also did want to mention this. I won't talk too much about Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is he's just like the biggest loser in politics. Literally one of the most biggest losers in politics. Not only did he lose to Trump, but even after like Trump insulted his wife, like he just continued to lick his boots throughout his presidency. It's absolutely hilarious. One of the most pathetic politicians you'll ever see, especially in U.S. Politics. He's pretty funny to watch, just because like he's so desperate to be of relevance, because he'll try to go halfway with the Trump stick, where it'll be a mix between just outright racism and then kind of just messing with and just doing like what he wants and such, which you'll see with Trump, because at the end of the day, all he really cares about himself. With Ted Cruz, he'll try to go that, but he really wants to go halfway because he wants to have a more broad appeal, as you can say. But it ends up not working, so you end up just seeing Ted Cruz just desperately to being like Trump, licking his boots, etc. And even as recently, as we see here, with Ted Cruz being just pretending to be offended that Biden would, sorry for the voice crack, that he would pledge to nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court. I believe this was because I think one of the Supreme Court justices is going to be retiring soon, if I recall correctly. So I'm guessing this response to that. Whoopi saying here, oh god, I think I saw this a bit on my feed. Whoopi Goldberg draws objection from her co-host on The View after saying that it's not about race, but rather man's inhumanity in man. I am not going to touch that. Whoopi, I do not agree with Whoopi on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I do not agree with her on. So I'm just not going to touch that. Crash Bandicoot. I've never played Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot. Sorry for the stutter. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of those. Why is my voice cracking so much? What the heck? Let me know your thoughts on those topics. But as I was saying, I actually never played Crash Bandicoot other than like I think there was like a little mini game like from those what was it? It was either Crash Bandicoot or Spyro. There was like those McDonald's mini games that you would play. Like they would actually give you a little machine. I thought that was actually pretty cool. I had one of those. I think it was for Spyro if I remember correctly. But I never played Crash Bandicoot. I'd always wanted to because it looked like a pretty fun game. But yeah, maybe I'll get to play it someday. Fidel Castro, Solidarity, rest in peace, all that. Bloodborne. What? Wait, what? Bloodborne. Oh, the game. I never played Bloodborne. I really want to play it because it's kind of like Dark Souls, I guess, with its own aesthetic. Let's see, Mark Short. Mark Short, former VP, Vice President's. Why am I voice cracking? What the heck? Chief of Staff quietly testified before the House Select Committee in response to a subpoena. I think I heard recently, like basically, at least from what I saw in the news, basically Trump like just openly admitting that he wanted to try to overturn the election. I mean, which again, we already knew this. This is just him being more open about it. It's not exactly shocking. But yeah, we'll see if he runs for president. If anything, it's just a takedown to DeSantis, which would be hilarious because DeSantis is so desperate for power, and the right is so desperate to try to prop him up and such. It's been pretty funny to watch, especially now with like how the things kind of backfired with COVID over in Florida. What else from this stuff? Former UK Conservative MP, the fish rots from its head. I'm guessing this is in response to was it Boris Johnson? Johnson, I'm guessing, is doing this shtick thing. So again, I already said this before. It's the Tories. You get what you're voting for with those Tories. They're trash. I don't know why you would vote for them after like just years of their policies and such. But I digress. That's the British. That's the overall on the pond. I'm not gonna touch that. Britain's drinking problem. What? Man, what is it with CNN? They always have those weird op-eds, especially like the ones by like Chris Cillizza. He always has the weirdest op-eds. Russia responds to U.S. on Ukraine crisis. I mean, as long as it's not World War III, we should be okay. Let's see. Again, this just more stuff will just develop on this. Myanmar's coup leaders tries to crush resistance, but 1 year on is stronger than ever. Why lockdown parties and Downing Street are such a big deal. I mean, I think it's really funny that of all the things like people, like at least for polling and such, like the one thing that they'll like complain on is the fact that Boris Johnson did like a party thing, as if like people weren't already trying to do parties like everywhere, which is fine. Just like of course, be safe, be responsible, and such. Make sure you're vaccinated, wearing masks, and etc. I mean, personally, I've just been trying to stay indoors for the most part. I mean, but yeah, if there's one thing you want to complain about the Tories, it would be more so like just their policies, whether towards the NHS or just like in general, their more conservative approach as we've seen for various years. Like the fact that their polling is coming down just because of a party of all things. I think that's a special kind of hilarious. I did mention this, the Patriot takes thing, where basically like Rogan just going, just a bunch of racist takes, or just some, or at least some racist sentiment there. Like even this one, I won't read it all. But here said Rogan on hoping to see Planet Leaves in a quote unquote good neighborhood. I mean, I'm not gonna read that whole quote. That's so disgusting. That's just disgusting. But yeah, I mean, if you're simping for Joe Rogan, you already lost. So what else we got here? Checking trendings, The Bachelor. I never really watched The Bachelor. The only kind of shows I watched like those was when like the Prince Harry went to, or I Want to Marry Prince Harry, which was, oh my gosh, that was such a cursed show. But I mean, it was still a little bit funny. It was still kind of funny. Oh yeah, almost forgot. The New York Times basically buying out Wordle, which I mean it sucks. You know, I guess you could say rest in peace to Wordle, because the thing about Wordle is that it's basically free to play. There's not really like any ads or just like that. But I think they said in their press release that the New York Times is going to keep it free initially, which presumably means that eventually you're going to have to pay for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a desperate attempt for the New York Times to just stay relevant and such. Like they won't have enough money to pay like for good reporters to actually like hold politicians accountable and such for like money in politics, etc. But they will absolutely spend money to buy out like Wordle, just a word game, only because like it's been like it's popular these days. So yeah. So yeah, hopefully, I wish the creators of Wordle the best, but oh my gosh, the fact that New York Times is buying it, that's just sad. Oh yeah, also I heard, I think I guess it's Chinese New Year now, so for those of you who celebrate Chinese New Year, Happy New Year, I guess. Happy Chinese New Year. Anything else? COVID-19. Justin Trudeau calls truckers' protest an insult to truth as Freedom Convoy continues. I don't know why they call them Freedom Convoy, because they were literally like people with like Nazi solid. What was it? How do you say that word? Signalium. How do you say that? I don't remember, but there were various. It was even like, oh my gosh, there was like one lady who was like desperate to like um, kind of defend themselves because there were like people wearing Nazi insignia. I guess that's the word, insignia. I think with like the swastika and stuff, the whole 9 yards. There were like people like that there, and there was like one. I think it was like a writer for Newsweek, if I recall correctly. I don't remember for sure, but there was one writer in particular who was like trying to defend that stuff, and it was just absolutely disgusting. I mean, dude, like it's 2022. Why are you trying to defend Nazis? Like even after Charlottesville, like forget if you want to forget World War II, fine, that was a long time ago. You already lost, take the L. But I mean, it's already after Charlottesville. Like, dude, why are you trying so desperate to defend Nazis? And then as I said with the Spotify, like desperate to, because again they spent like what was it, like a tenth of a billion. They spent like 100 million on Rogan, which is just sad. I mean that's just sad. But it is hilarious, like I said, that Rogan's trying to do his own like apology bit thing. That is pretty pathetic on his part. Let's see. Boris Johnson addresses the comments after a report finds failure of leadership. I mean, you're saying that now after a party? Again, there's like worse things than like a party. Like, I mean, because literally like thousands of people already died. I think that's worse than like a party. Let's see. With their jobs on the line, COVID vaccine points are growing. I kind of mentioned this before. Kind of like after Charlottesville, like people lost their jobs because they were like just openly saying they were Nazis. Student penned an essay for Barry Weiss's. Oh, Barry Weiss. She's your typical, more like conservative writer, but like it was pretty funny because she was over at I think it was the New York Times, but at some point she eventually like, because the New York Times was not gonna fire her, like because at the end of the day she poses no threat to their power, or what you conceive to be power. So she eventually just like resigned. The same thing did Jordan Peterson, I think, like a week or so ago, which I thought was pretty funny. But I won't. Yeah. I mean, it's Barry Weiss. I won't go into much more than that. I guess this is what that's referring to. But again, I also saw some stuff on, I think it was like Jimmy Dore, who basically like what was it? He was supporting what was it? DeSantis, as your typical right winger does. I think he's there was like some Ben Shapiro tweets that he supported, and even like Meghan McCain. And I even posted about this, but I mean like even if you're like on the whatever side of the spectrum you're on, like dude, if you're liking a Meghan McCain tweet, like what are you doing? Like my goodness, like it's a Meghan McCain. Like oh my god. What else? FDA grants full approval to Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. All right. That's Reuters. Wasn't Reuters? Singer Rihanna expecting first child with rapper A$AP Rocky. I have no idea who that is, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And then we have a New York judge rejecting a plea deal regarding justice for Ahmad. Anything else here? Oh yeah, that's just like the Rogan stuff. Alright, so I already covered that. As goes that. Already said around Rick Wordle. I think that's about it for the most part. Yeah, that'll be it for now. I think that'll be for now. I'll have another stream tomorrow. Like I said, I've been trying to do it more back-to-back every day, and I'm really happy that I've been able to do that for the most part. Like I said, it's been feeling really good just to get back into it and kind of stream regularly now. I'm going to try to do more longer streams like I used to as well. But yeah, I think that's about it for now. Not sure if there's anything else I want to mention. I am actually working on some more art, so I want to get that done as well, so I'll be busy working on that tomorrow. There's some stuff I want to take care of, and hopefully I'll have the stream talking about the streamer tomorrow, so hopefully I'll have that as well. There's some anime I want to catch up to. So yeah, I think that'll be it. But yeah, thank you for anyone who happened to tune in. I really appreciate it. If you happen to stop by, Thank you so much. Have a great day.